working for you in the spirit of Arkansas. This is Channel 7 News Daybreak.
Good morning to you. Your team coverage of this winter storm begins right now here on Channel 7 News Daybreak. Thanks for being here. We have got all precipitation types coming down across Arkansas, just as we had expected. From snow to the north, about the northern third of the state, still seeing that snow coming down. But the largest portion of the state seeing both freezing rain and sleet, and that includes most of the metro area. We saw it change over from freezing rain to sleet about 2 o'clock this morning. And we continue to see quite a bit of that all the way through most of the metro. Far south Arkansas, it is still holding just as rainfall for you, and we think that it will, but we'll monitor that as well. It's that freezing rain that is the biggest problem as far as travel goes, as far as power lines and tree branches go. So we're going to be really watching this area of the state over from west central Arkansas around Mena and DeQueen, really just to the south of the Little Rock area with freezing rain through Pine Bluff, Hot Springs over into east central Arkansas. And then from Little Rock northward, mainly sleet, which is easier to drive on, but the streets are just all ice covered. So if you don't have to get out of the house today, please don't. Thankfully, it is a holiday, so a lot of people are going to stay home anyway. Winter storm warning for most of the state. This continues until 6 o'clock tonight, and we'll show you our models as far as when this should wrap up. I think it continues into the early afternoon for most of the state and then begins to leave. And then a winter storm, or winter weather advisory rather, just for South Arkansas, where mainly we're going to see rainfall. Taking a look outside, and you can see some of the ice-covered streets. 27 degrees here in Little Rock. Feels like 17 with that north wind blowing at about 9 miles per hour. Here's a look at temperatures around the state, mainly in the 20s. Teens up in northern Arkansas. Factor the wind in, though. Quite a chilly morning. Single digits for some wind chills in the northern part of the state. Your forecast in for today, 32 degrees, mainly freezing rain and sleet, but this could wrap up as a little bit of light snow in the metro area. Mainly snow north and mainly rain across South Arkansas. For tonight, well, it's all wrapped up. Cloudy skies, just cold and breezy tonight, down to 23 degrees. But you know what? There are more chances of winter weather this week. Nothing like what we're seeing today, but we'll discuss all of those in detail in just a few moments. Now back over to Chris and Allison.
All right, Melinda, thank you very much. Well, as you just mentioned, sleeting in Little Rock this morning. Right now, this video from one of our photographers, Brian Imfinger, taken just a few moments ago. We've got team coverage from around Arkansas as the winter weather continues to make its way through the state.
That's right. We have reporters in Conway, Pine Bluff, and we start with Jordan Bonnke right here in Little Rock at the I-30 River Bridge, or actually at I-630 at Big Rock Interchange. Jordan, can you tell us what you're seeing out there?
Well, I'll tell you right now, I'm thinking to myself, Saturday, it was 75 degrees, and here I am just feeling that stinging feel of this constant sleet that's coming down. Actually, Allison, right now, I am along I-30 and 9th Street here, and just look at these streets, just completely coated. I'll tell you right now, earlier I was driving, I'm probably 4 blocks away from the station, and as I was driving, I stopped at that stop line the way anybody would on any given day. And just to test, there was nobody on the roads, and I'll tell you what, I slid right into the intersection as I'm just slamming my foot onto those brakes. The other thing that I noticed, look at this. This is a sheet of glass-like ice that I took off of the car this morning. If you haven't been outside yet, give yourself plenty of time. That's a phrase that you're going to hear all morning long. And if you can avoid it, stay off the roads. But back to the glass-like ice here, it took me quite a bit of time to get this off. And think to yourself, if you're going to pour that water on top of your car like that, make sure that it's not cold. It could just freeze right over. You're going to want to scrape that because this was pretty dense. I mean, we're looking at a better part of an inch. Coming up a little bit later, I'll show you the car that I was trying to scrape the ice off just a little bit ago. Also, I've been told from someone from Saline County, usually it takes you 30 minutes to get into Little Rock, maybe into Pulaski County. It took them an hour this morning, and it took them the better part just to get out of the neighborhood there. We're going to be looking at all of these driving conditions all morning long, and we'll also tell you what to do when you get to your car this morning. That's all for now here in Pulaski County. We'll send it back to you guys.
All right, Jordan Botke out live for us. We'll be checking in with you all throughout the morning. And Chris, conditions are certainly worsening them from when we came in earlier around 2:30-ish. It's just continuing to get worse. You can see the roads now completely covered with
And
ice.
hear the sleet
Yeah.
hitting those little pellets coming down. If you're waking up right now, you can probably hear them on your window or on your roof, and it's going to continue to fall until at least mid-morning, possibly even further than that. And speaking of further, we're going to head a little further north now to Faulkner County. Matt Mershon is live in Conway this morning. Matt, you stayed there overnight and have been awaiting this winter weather to come through. How's it looking there right now?
Well, it shaped up exactly like we thought it would. That ice turned over to sleet this morning in the early morning hours. That's what it's doing right now here in Conway. We're on Skyline Drive by Interstate 40, and as Jordan mentioned, a lot of slow going this morning around the whole metro area due to this weather. People taking their time, of course, and as he mentioned, a lot of people who aren't realizing how slippery it really is. They're doing a little bit of a, you hear that little, as they're hitting the pavement because they need to do a little slowdown before they get on the highway. And Skyline Drive, as you can see behind me, it is pretty ice covered along with sleet, and that's what a lot of people are waking up to this morning. These sleet and ice covered snow roads, rather. And what's underneath that sleet is a small sheet of ice. Remember, it was raining last night, so we're dealing with that, the sleet as well, and a lot of people waking up this morning. It's President's Day. We have the day off today, but a lot of schools are planned to be in session today, aren't because of this stuff. We have those rolling at the bottom of our screen as well. A couple here. I know Valonia is off today. Faulkner County Day School here in Faulkner County is off as well. A lot of people taking it seriously, and as we mentioned, definitely taking it slow out here as this begins to ramp up. Right now, not too bad, but it's going to continue throughout the day. We'll send it back to you guys.
All right, Matt Mershon reporting live in Conway this morning.
As he was mentioning, schools, a lot of them already closed. A lot of kids going, are you kidding me? We could have had a snow day today, but we're already out because of President's Day or winter break. But the schools that were expected to be in, a lot of those closing, so we will continue to roll those at the bottom of your screen. Also, your resources for this winter weather, Facebook, KATV Facebook page, Twitter, and of course, KATV.com. We continually keep that updated for you throughout the morning. Finally now, we join Maureen Glisovic, who is out near the mall in Pine Bluff. And Maureen, what are the conditions like there this morning?
Well, what it's looking like right now, I'm by Highway 65 in the I-530 interchange. Now, the ground, it's melting, so it's not icy and slippery. But if you take a look at some of the cars that are around me here, you can see there's about 1/8 of an inch of thickness of ice here that's accumulated. So if you guys are heading out the door, you're needing to go somewhere this morning, throughout the morning hours, I would definitely give yourself at least an extra 10 or 20 minutes to warm that car up, get the ice scrapers out. But as far as on the ground, I mean, it's still warm on this side of the town at least. And, not too much traffic. We were driving down 530. It wasn't horrible. Even the ramps, we kind of slowed down just to see, and it wasn't that bad. So right now it's just been raining. It is cold. Fingertips are starting to get a little frozen here, but you can see behind me here, it's just pretty much just a thick sheet of ice when you're starting off your car this morning. So just give yourself plenty of time, and we're going to continue to have coverage. Now, across the street from me over there, you can't see it now. We'll be taking a look at that later. There's plenty of energy crew trucks kind of posted up by the Pines Mall, in the Pines Mall parking lot, rather. And some of those crews are coming in from Texas or even Alabama plates. So they're ready. They're prepared. I know, based off of some information we had gotten from some energy crews, that they say just about 1/2 inch of ice can actually put an extra 500 pounds on the power lines. So obviously crews are getting ready for the worst, but we're going to continue to give you guys updates. So if you don't have to go anywhere, stay home. I'll send it back to you.
That's the advice you'll hear all morning. Maureen Glisovic reporting live for us in Pine Bluff. Of course, this weather is leading to flight delays, flight cancellations, power outages, and road closures. A lot of people wondering what the roads are like. iDrive Arkansas, a great resource as well.
Yeah, wonderful resource and even an app now. So there's no excuse to not have it on your phone, iPhone or Android. You're going to be able to download it and see the conditions, and they're going to be updated continuously throughout the morning. We use it here, and judging by the looks of it, just south where Maureen was in Pine Bluff, just some slight slush on the roads, but anywhere north of Pine Bluff right now, north of Hot Springs, you're seeing sheets of ice, and that is certainly something that you have to keep in mind. No one can drive on ice. It's something that you can't even drive with four-wheel drive in. So if you think you can get through it, be cautious this morning. Do not go anywhere if you don't have to. And another thing you just mentioned, the Clinton National Airport has already canceled 12 flights before the noon hour alone. Some of those could follow suit because there are a few flights in the morning hour that are still on delay or scheduled at this time. But make sure you go to ClintonNationalAirport.com for more information.
You can also contact your air carrier as well, and we'll try to keep you updated throughout the morning. Well, still to come, Melinda will tell you how long you can expect the weather to stick around.
Yep, and we're going to be rejoining our team coverage later in the show for a look at the current conditions around the state as well. The time now is 4:40 on this Monday. It is President's Day here on Channel 7 News Daybreak. Stay with us.
All forms of precipitation are coming down in the state just as we had thought, and really kind of four defined areas across Arkansas. Everything but hail coming down in the forms of precipitation this morning. The large area, though, from west central through the metro over into east central Arkansas is kind of a mix of both sleet and freezing rain. Sleet is better as far as power lines staying up, as far as trees and the roads staying better. But the further south you are in those kind of pinkish colors, that's more freezing rain, where there's more sleet from Little Rock northward. Further into northern Arkansas, snow. We saw this changeover late last night from some freezing rain and sleet to snow across the northern sections. Some estimates up to 3 to 6 inches possible in some of those higher elevations. Mainly rainfall across the south. And folks, this is going to last for a while. This isn't going to be out early this morning. For a lot of us, maybe early afternoon before it begins to taper off. So the roads are going to continue to get bad. Now, when traffic gets on them, that will heat things up, and the crews have done a great job at pre-treating the roadways, but this is going to continue. So if you can stay home today, that'd be a good idea. Winter storm warning until 6 o'clock tonight for all the areas shaded in pink, which is obviously a lot of the state, and then a winter weather advisory due to the possibility of maybe some of that rain freezing on exposed surfaces across South Arkansas, but you're not going to have the problems that areas through central and north Arkansas are going to see. Here's a look outside, and let's talk about our winter weather headlines for today. Mainly freezing rain and sleet, a mixture of those through most of the metro. Mainly snow north and rain across South Arkansas. And then tomorrow, another smaller disturbance, which won't be anything like this one, but there could actually be another little bout of very light snow tomorrow through mainly west central, but possibly into central Arkansas too, and we'll get to that in a little bit. 27 degrees with the north wind at about 13 miles per hour. Just doesn't feel good out there at all. Feels like 16 as you are out in that wind this morning. And actual temperatures in northern Arkansas in the teens at Harrison and Mountain Home. And you can see most everybody below freezing except for South Arkansas. We've got Monticello at 32, so we could have some freezing rain there as it comes down as rain and then freezes on those power lines. 34, though, at El Dorado, 33 at Texarkana, so staying mainly all rainfall there. Wind chills in the teens as well. Very cold if you are going to go out. I know the kids are going to want to go out and play in what they can. It will be very chilly, so be sure and keep them bundled up with that wind. All right, here's our futurecast model. We're going to put this forward in time until this afternoon, and you can see that we've got it beginning to really kind of slack off, especially late afternoon hours. Could be a little bit of snow left in northeastern Arkansas. We go through most of Tuesday and Wednesday dry. Again, there could be just a couple of areas that see light snow tomorrow, but then a dry period for Wednesday, Thursday before some chances of maybe even some winter comeback at the end of the week. So for today, only getting up to a high of 32. Freezing rain and sleet mainly. May end is a little bit of snow in central Arkansas. And again, northern Arkansas, you're mainly going to be seeing snow. Could see some accumulation there. Mainly rain south. Cloudy, cold and breezy tonight, down to 23 degrees. And here's that extended forecast. That snow tomorrow, just about a 20% chance. Most of us won't see it. Wednesday, Thursday, nice. But Friday into the weekend, mainly rain with temperatures above freezing, but it could start off as a little bit of freezing rain or sleet on Friday. We'll watch that for you as well this week. All right, coming up next, we'll be rejoining our team coverage for a live look at current conditions around the state. Stay with us.
Welcome back into Channel 7 News Daybreak. We are continuing team coverage around Arkansas as the winter weather continues to fall. A lot of you waking up wondering what it's like outside.
Yeah, fortunately, not a lot of schools in session today due to President's Day, so you don't have to worry about that. And most schools that are closing due to the winter weather can be found scrolling at the bottom of the screen all morning long or at our website at KATV.com. First up for team coverage, we head out to Jordan Bonnke, who is right here in downtown Little Rock. Jordan is now checking out some of the ice that's accumulating. Jordan, we can see on the cars that are parked outside.
Oh yeah, definitely. So if you haven't been outside yet, this is the first thing that you're going to notice is the trouble that you're going to have with your car. Again, we can't say this enough. If you don't need to be on the roads, do not get on the roads. But check this out. Look at how dense some of this ice is here as it just climbs off the top here. It's been accumulating all night long. Earlier, it took me probably 25 minutes just to climb off, just to etch off all of that thick ice just off the windshield there. My best suggestion to you after doing it this morning, and this is coming from someone who's from the south, warm up your car, then pour the ice on. Don't keep it cold. Don't come back. Make sure you stay on it. Really scrape it off. Now also, again, we can't say it enough. You don't need to be on the roads. Don't get on the roads. But you're looking at some very icy highways. When you give yourself 2 to 3 car lengths if you absolutely need to go, and drive slow. We can't repeat it enough. And that's the best thing to take home this morning. That's all for now. We'll send it back to you guys.
Jordan Bonnke out live for us this morning, and we're going to keep you updated with him in Central Arkansas throughout the day. And Matt Mershon is in Faulkner County this morning.
That's right, Matt. You overnight, of course, a big change up waking up this morning and seeing some of that sleet fall down. And Matt, looking at the iDrive Arkansas map right now, that's where a lot of the ice accumulation is around the metro area this morning.
Yeah, exactly. We're on Skyline Drive right by Interstate 40, and we can see right behind me that it is completely sleet covered at this point. And when we were out here on Nightside last night, we were dealing with some rain at that point, and that was starting to coat the surfaces. So you have that ice on the bottom, you have the sleet on top, and let's take a look at what the sleet looks like this morning. Not a lot of it, but it is coming down. The intensity's come down a little more, but this is what we're dealing with. It's sleet, not snow here in Conway, and that is coating the roadways. Highway Department came through earlier with a salt truck we saw about a half hour ago, and they are continuing to take care of the roads today. But you can see not every road, especially some of our secondary roads, they're not being treated as quickly, so got to be cautious out there. That's the very latest here in Conway. We'll send it back to you guys.
Matt, we can see some of the cars traveling behind you, and a lot of people, we always say if you don't have to get out on the roads, don't. But there are some people that are critical workers that do have to go in this morning, and they're able to talk a little bit about your drive to where you were from last night and then into this morning.
Well, we're very lucky. We actually had the drive from our hotel right over here. It was only a couple blocks. But just doing that drive, you know, we're taking a quick turn, and it's really, we're only doing about 20 miles an hour. But yeah, absolutely, you're fishtailing, you're losing control because it is still slick out here. Not every road, especially the ones that aren't state highways and interstates, they aren't being treated as quickly and as well as our primary roads, and those are the ones you really need to be cautious of.
All right, Matt Mershon live there talking about those secondary roads, maybe the toughest for people that absolutely have to get out.
All right. Also, Maureen Glisovic is live this morning. She's in Pine Bluff. And Maureen, what can you tell us about the conditions down there in Jefferson County?
Well, what I can say, I'm here by Highway 65 and the I-530 interchange. About 1/8 of an inch of ice is accumulating on cars. You can see, make sure you give yourself plenty of time if you have to head out the door. I will say I'm not seeing much traffic over here on this side of town. Across the way at Pines Mall, they have energy crews actually ready to go. A lot of those trucks are coming from Alabama as well as Texas, so they're just preparing. I know energy crews have also told us that just about 1/2 an inch of ice can add an extra 500 pounds of weight on those power lines. So like I said, there's about 1/8 of an inch of ice. Now on the ground, it's pretty much just rain, you know, tiny little pebbles of ice, I would say. On our drive in here on 530, it wasn't too bad. Even the ramps, you know, just the slightest bit of ice accumulation, but most of it is just freezing on top of the cars. My umbrella, since we started at about 4:30 this morning on Daybreak, I mean, it's not taking long for stuff to freeze over, but as far as the ground, I mean, it's melting so it's not too bad, not slick on this side of town. I know, according to Pine Bluff's Twitter account for Pine Bluff schools, I know that they too don't have schools today, and again, since it is a holiday, so it's kind of nice. And for most people, if you don't have to go out the door, I wouldn't. It's cold out here and it's freezing the cars, so we're gonna have some more updates as soon as they're available. I'll send it back to you.
All right, Maureen Glisovic reporting live for us. Entergy Arkansas is certainly already reporting some power outages that Maureen was alluding to, and we'll keep you updated on that. Some 5,500, mostly in the Montgomery County area. One thing to keep in mind: charge up those phones because it could get worse, and more outages are expected throughout the morning as this stuff continues to fall. So you can always find us if you lose electricity. You can always find us on your smartphone or tablet at katv.com. We will be live streaming also on our Twitter feed and on our KATV Facebook page.
At KATV News and KATV Channel 7, respectively, on those two pages. You can follow us all morning long as we continuously post updates, both here on air and, of course, out in the field as well. Coming up next, Melinda's going to join us again as she tells us what we can expect as this winter weather moves through the state.
Welcome back, everybody. Meteorologist Melinda Mayo here in the Weather Center. Meteorologist Barry Brandt is here, and he's going to be joining us here in just a few moments. Let's take a look at radar, and we're amazed looking at the radar at how much it looks exactly like the models told us this would play out this morning. With a large part of the state getting that mix of freezing rain and sleet. Those are kind of the purple and pinkish colors right down the middle of the state, from west central into the metro over into east central Arkansas. You want to hear sleet rather than not hear it, because that is easier on roadways to drive on. It's the freezing rain that will continue to collect on power lines and be a problem for power outages. So we expect the roads to get worse before they get better. Mainly a mix of snow, maybe with a little bit of sleet in northern Arkansas, and then from areas across South Arkansas, it looks like you're mainly going to stay rain with your temperatures just above the freezing mark. Hour by hour forecast, and it doesn't get a whole lot better. Even by noontime today, we are still below freezing at 30 degrees. The mixed precipitation will become more scattered later on this morning from west to east, and then our hour-by-hour forecast shows mainly just cloudy and cold the rest of the afternoon once it does wrap up. Temperatures right now, bundle up if you do have to go outside. The wind is blowing as well. Mainly temperatures are in the 20s, but with wind chills in the teens this morning. Just not pleasant to be out there at all. Today's high around 32, so we do get just barely to that freezing mark. So this could remain as this winter mix for a while. 23 degrees tonight as it wraps up. And coming up, we'll talk more about the rest of the week. It just stays cold all week long. We've got a couple more chances of precipitation that we'll detail in just a little bit. Stay with us. We will be rejoining our live team coverage coming up just a little bit later on.
And welcome back, everybody, into Channel 7 News Daybreak. We're going to be continuing our live winter coverage right on the other side of this break. We have team coverage from all over the state this morning, including both meteorologists Barry Brandt and Melinda Mayo in studio.
We are also keeping you updated on any school closings that weren't already closed. At the bottom of the screen, more on this winter weather coming up right after this.
Skycams, sponsored by Middleton Heat and Air. Working for you in the spirit of Arkansas. This is Channel 7 News Daybreak.
The time now is 5:03. Good morning, everybody. It's Monday, President's Day. Freezing rain and sleet coming down overnight. Much of Arkansas and a winter storm warning at this time.
That's right. As you can see, those school closings are rolling at the bottom of your screen. You can also find the very latest on katv.com, also on our KATV Facebook page, and at KATV News on Twitter. This morning, we have Jordan Baki, who is live in Little Rock. Matt Mershon is in Conway. Maureen Glisovic in Pine Bluff, and photographer Brian Imfinger in Central Arkansas. Also, Michael Knight is keeping an eye on the road conditions this morning.
And we start with the weather, of course. We get right to it in the Weather Center with meteorologists Melinda Mayo and Barry Brandt. Good morning, guys.
Good morning. Barry was here last night with Todd at 10 o'clock, and he's back with us early this morning.
Absolutely, and kind of as we anticipated. I don't know, usually there's always a little bit of a fluctuation in what we forecast and where it actually occurs, and I don't know that there's any fluctuation.
I tell you, it looks really exactly like many of the models showed for a couple of days, really.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at our 5 live Doppler radars, and you'll see that the area, the back edge of that area, is well back into Oklahoma and west of Dallas. Now, it's rainfall in northeast Texas and across southern Arkansas as well. But if you look at our area, the pink shading there, and that's just to the south of Little Rock, that's freezing rain. And Belinda and I were just looking, both the airport at Hot Springs and Pine Bluff are getting freezing rain, while we're getting sleet here. And in northern Arkansas, there's some sleet mixing with some snow in the blue shading. And so that's the setup. And it's going to last for a while, too. And the preferable type is sleet.
Sure.
Because you can get a little bit of traction on that.
It doesn't melt, it doesn't collect on power lines, and we've already seen about 5,000 power outages already, and that number may grow. Let's take a look at our winter storm watch map. The winter storm warning remains in effect for most of the state until 6 p.m. tonight. Now, we do expect conditions to improve and the precipitation to get lighter and more scattered as we go into the afternoon hours, but this is going to continue for a while, and the roads will probably get worse before they get better. There's a look outside downtown, and you can actually see kind of the ice covering the grassy surfaces especially, and some of the roadways too. It's 25 degrees. Feels like temperature, though, 12. Very cold out there with the wind blowing as well as the sub-freezing temperatures. The only areas above freezing, far south Arkansas, they're around El Dorado, and wind chills as well in the teens this morning, low teens here in the metro. Today's high only around 32 degrees, so we spend most of the day below freezing. Again, mainly freezing rain and sleet. May end as a little bit of light snow, and then mainly that snow north and rain across south Arkansas. We'll have the extended forecast coming up, Barry.
Also, if you've got photos, at KATV Barry or at KATV Melinda. We're both here, and Twitter's a great way to upload those, and we'll get them turned around and show you those on the air.
Absolutely. Now back to Chris and Allison.
Thank you very much, guys. Well, if you're up early this morning, we've got team coverage from around Arkansas as the winter weather is falling right now.
Yes, first we head over to Jordan Bonke, who is in Little Rock at the I-30 River Bridge. Good morning to you, Jordan.
Well, good morning to you guys. You know, since we've been out here, I think one of the big stories right now is ice accumulation, snow accumulation, sleet accumulation. Or like you said earlier, we were right along the interstate. All of that collecting all over the highways. We can't say it enough. Don't drive if you don't have to. But one of the big reasons, purposely, we parked here just like this so we can show you how quickly. I cleaned this off earlier. Look at this. Look at how thick this is right here. All of this. If you haven't been out to your car yet, this is what you guys have to look forward to, right? A lot of fun this morning cleaning off your ice like this. Also, just a few moments ago, cleaned all this off. You can't even see my windshields here. Now, earlier when I drove through the intersection, we're talking, I just stopped normally. And again, from the south, I'm not very familiar with this kind of weather, but we just stopped normally right at the stop sign, the way you would, just broke. Had to skid right through the intersection right there. And that's something that you can expect this morning. Also, I have a photo of actually our boss called me this morning. He said I came in from Saline County. It took him a full hour just to get to work here in Pulaski County. This is something that we'll be covering for you all morning long. We'll be looking, if you haven't gotten out to your car yet, something to consider. That's all for now here. We'll send it back to you guys.
Jordan, you bring up a great point. A lot of people saying you need an extra 30 minutes to just get your car de-iced, and then you're going to need an extra 30 minutes or an hour to get to where you have to go if you absolutely have to drive today.
Might want to start it ahead of time if you can. Maybe that'll help clear some of that off. We head north now to Faulkner County. Matt Mershon is live in Conway this morning. And Matt, we know the roads up there, according to iDrive Arkansas, sheet of ice currently right there on Interstate 40.
You know, Chris, Allison, that's exactly, you know, what we've been seeing. But the Highway Department has clearly been trying to address that this morning. Just within the last half hour, we've probably seen 2 salt trucks going down I-40 on both sides, and they are trying to address what was a sheet of ice that formed last night and then into this morning. Now we're dealing with sleet here in Conway. We're on Skyline Drive by I-40, and Skyline Drive, however, that's still a lot of sleet, and I-40 is still a lot, but the road crews are trying to address that. But we've been talking about it all morning. You got to take, if you are going to be out here this morning, take a little extra time to get to your destination. People are slow moving, and that's the right thing to do because that's the safe thing to do, and that's what we're talking about here this morning. Want to keep you safe here, and of course, we're going to continue updated on it throughout the morning here in Conway, dealing with sleet, and we'll be dealing with it for a couple more hours. hours. We'll send it back to you guys.
All right, Matt Mershon reporting live for us in Faulkner County. Finally, now we head to Pine Bluff, where Maureen Glisovic is live there this morning on the conditions in that part of the state.
Well, still more ice is accumulating here on these cars on Highway 65 in the I-530 interchange. You can see it's getting thicker. When we first got here at about 4:30, it was about 1/8 of an inch, and clearly it's accumulated even more. Now, as far as the ground now, it's starting to get a little bit more slushy. We've got a mix of sleet and freezing rain out here. Most of it is in water form right now, but I will say that it's starting to get a little bit worse here in Pine Bluff than it did just about the last half hour or so. So it's coming down. The umbrella's freezing. Give yourself plenty of time. Across the way at Pines Mall, there are energy crews and energy trucks set up, some of them coming from Alabama, Texas. You know, thankfully, a lot of the school districts in the area are closed because it is a holiday. If you don't have to travel, I wouldn't. But I will say that coming into here, again, off of I-530, it wasn't too bad of a drive, about 4 o'clock or so, 4:15, but it's getting a little colder out here, and it's starting to accumulate on the ground as well, so it's mostly slush for right now, but it's gotten a little bit worse, if you could see on the ground here. But we're going to continue to give live updates and coverage, so if you don't have to go anywhere, just stay home. Today will be the perfect day not to have to drive anywhere. For now, I'll send it back to you.
A great day to stay indoors if you can. Maureen Glisovic outdoors for us, reporting live in Jefferson County and Pine Bluff this morning. Thank you, Maureen.
You can certainly hear the sleet coming down, and that's what Melinda and Barry have said is a good thing. It's a good thing because it's not the freezing rain when you can't hear it that continues to pile up on those power lines and can cause even more power outages. Now, we already have some, and they're continuing to increase at a rapid rate as you continue to monitor that, Chris.
Yeah, unfortunately, the power outages in Pike County and Clark County have both increased. In fact, Pike County at 4:30 this morning, 267, 500 more now. They're well over the 700 mark in Pike County. Also more than 300 now in Clark County. Power outages all around the metro also rising, but the big one right now, Montgomery County, that's around the Mount Ida area, 4,864 right now without power. And Allison, as we've been talking with our meteorologists all morning long, we're in this for the long haul.
That's right. So you want to go ahead and charge up those phones and iPads if you can, so you can continue to monitor the weather situation. Of course, we are live streaming on KATV.com. You can find us right there, also on Twitter at KATV News, and on our Facebook page, KATV Facebook page there. We're continuing to keep you updated. Also, those school closings will continue to roll at the bottom of your screen, but bad news, kids. A lot of you are already out. So no snow day, per se, for a lot of you because of President's Day, but we'll continue to keep you updated. Still to come, Melinda and Barry are in and taking a look at how long the winter weather is expected to stick around.
And we're going to be hearing from Julie Munsell with Entergy about who's seeing those power outages around the state as you wake up this morning.
Starting to get a lot of pictures from folks who are out snapping them either on the roadways or in their front yards, and keep those coming in, and we're going to try to continue sending those back out to you.
Obviously, the address that we've used for a number of years, photo@katv.com, and that's a really easy one. But there's so many more ways nowadays to keep you updated and to both gather and disseminate these pictures too. And of course, the KATV weather app, you need to download that. You can get the live stream there. You can see radar. But there are 3 Twitter addresses there, at KATV Barry, at KATV Melinda, and Todd at KATV_weather. He's not here, but he'll be monitoring from home this morning. And he's going to be taking in these pictures, and we're going to turn them around and show them to you. And especially as the sun comes up, you'll see a lot more of those pictures, and we'll be able to show you exactly what's happening. But I will show you that there is an area of rainfall that's moving right on through the state, and we'll zoom in and I'll show you exactly what's happening, because as we put this into motion, it's exactly where we said it would happen. Now, does it always happen that way? No. But we're getting a whole lot better at getting precipitation type, and this is exactly what the forecast looked like. South Arkansas, mainly rain. The pink area, or the kind of the orangish pink, Pine Bluff and Hot Springs, it's freezing rain. Little Rock, we've changed over to sleet and snow up into the northern part of the state. So this is what we've kind of feared as far as freezing rain just to the south of the Little Rock area, and that's why I think we've seen those power outages that aren't going to get better, because it extends back into eastern Oklahoma. And so this is going to be several more hours of this before
Absolutely.
it's gone.
It's not just your temperature at the surface, it's the layer of cold air above the surface that makes all the difference.
And how deep it is. That's exactly right.
All right, let's take a look at our winter weather map, our winter storm warning map that covers most of the state, all but extreme South Arkansas. And basically, winter storm warning means you are going to be impacted on the roadways in those areas, and that is most of the state for different types of precipitation. South Arkansas, it is mainly rain, but you have some pockets of freezing rain that you'll need to be careful of, especially on exposed surfaces, bridges and overpasses, probably the problem for you down south. But for the rest of us, it is on the roadways and starting to ice up. Mainly freezing rain and sleet in the state, but a small band in northern Arkansas that's mainly snow, and then South Arkansas, about that lower third, seeing mainly rainfall. Got another round tomorrow, but it looks very light. It will not be anything like what we're seeing this morning, but there could be a brief little bout of snow early tomorrow, especially across the north. It's 25 degrees, but the feels like temperature is 12. We've got wind chills that are quite cold out there this morning, but look at the freezing line right down here in South Arkansas, exactly where we see on radar that it is rain and not frozen precipitation. So most everybody below freezing. Here's our futurecast model, and we're going to stop this a little bit later on this morning. This is 8 o'clock. Look at all the freezing rain and sleet still coming down, starting to see it clearing in northern Arkansas. We go on to about 10:30. Mainly the eastern side of the state now is seeing the frozen precipitation, with it really decreasing across the west. And then by early afternoon, it's only in southeastern Arkansas. We'll see if it plays out that way. That's a pretty good guide, though, of what we will see this afternoon as it begins to decrease. And then here's that round that I mentioned. Could be just kind of, again, another little mixed bag of frozen precipitation. Futurecast putting it more into tomorrow night, and we'll keep an eye on that for you as well. 32 degrees for a high today. That is it. So we spend most of the day below freezing, and that's the reason this will stay wintry through most of the morning into the early afternoon. 23 tonight. Taking all the rain and snow chances out tonight, but then that small chance again tomorrow. Temperatures get up to 38, though, tomorrow afternoon, so we're not too concerned about that. Kind of dry Wednesday and Thursday before some rain chances come back Friday into the weekend. Could actually begin as a little bit of light snow or freezing rain on Friday there, too. Okay, coming up in just a little bit, we've got a lot to get to. If you have a good tool, we're going to tell you about a good tool that you can use from the Arkansas Highway and Transportation Department right after this.
You can kind of see all the little white sheets spread across the river market there in downtown Little Rock as the sleet continues to fall here in central Arkansas. And recent upgrades to iDriveArkansas.com is going to help you track conditions on roadways as the wintry weather sweeps through the state.
Yeah, a lot of you waking up wondering what the situation is like on your roadway. Here's the website run by the Arkansas State Highway and Transportation Department. It now allows you to see route conditions and a display of what's currently on the road. Route conditions lets you know whether a roadway is clear, mostly clear, partly covered, or covered. The What's on the Road feature displays whether a road is clear or covered with slush, snow, or ice, and there it is there, the different colors. Of course, the hot pink is suggesting ice and ice patches.
And you can also see, if you've been tracking this throughout the morning, more and more pink and hot pink have been spreading throughout the metro and through the central Arkansas area. We're expecting that to even continue more, so the road conditions will not be improving anytime soon. As far as power outages, there are some throughout the state. And coming up next, we're going to be joining Julie Munsell with Entergy Arkansas. She'll tell you where those areas are affected and also how quickly those who are affected will get power back on.
And welcome back into Channel 7 News Daybreak. We are monitoring the winter weather situation throughout Arkansas this morning. And we have Brian Empfinger, one of our photographers, out live this morning with our live view technology. He is driving around central Arkansas and giving us a live look at the road conditions as he is driving. Now, we've been telling you to stay off the roads if you don't have to get out there, but some people do have to get out there. They do have critical jobs that they have to go into. So this is giving you a really good idea of exactly what it looks like. By the way, he is driving safely there, hands-free, with a GoPro camera strapped to the car. So that's a great live look for everyone.
You mentioned some of those critical jobs. We're joined now by Julie Munsell with Entergy Arkansas about the current power outages around the state. Julie, good morning to you. Thanks for joining us. And we know that your crews overnight have been working round the clock to try and get power back on. What can you tell us about an update right now as far as power outages go? Where is the area that you guys are working the most at right now to restore power?
Yes, good morning. Well, we have about 7,000 customers out right now due to winter storm. A lot of those customers, the majority of those are in Montgomery County around the Glenwood area, about 5,000 customers out. So we have crews working on an outage there. I have a few in Garland County around the Hot Springs area, and then some in Pike, and then there's a few scattered around. So we have crews in different areas working some smaller outages, but the largest part of those outages are down in Montgomery County. And, of course, we still have crews placed in different areas because we still have precipitation falling, and the storm's not over yet.
Julie, remind customers what they need to do if their power does go out. Is that an automatic alert to you guys, or do they still need to call?
Well, now, we still, we do get some device alerts, but we do like for customers to help us with that. We still lean on that as good communication with our customers to help know when the power is out. So we do ask them to call 1-800-9-OUTAGE so that we know that their power is out. So, yes, we do like for customers, still need customers to call and let us know when their power is out.
And that is Julie Munsell. She is reporting from Entergy Arkansas this morning as their workforce continues to make sure that power is restored to those around the state. Julie, thanks so much for your time this morning. We appreciate it, and we'll talk to you later today.
Thank you much.
All right, coming up after the break, Barry and Melinda will have another check of what you can expect weather-wise as you're waking up this morning right after the break. Don't go away.
All right, there's 5 live Doppler radars. The blue in North Arkansas. Pretty good doses of snow up there. I think there'll be several inches of snow from Little Rock up through Conway, up into White County, mainly sleet. And just to the south of Little Rock, as we anticipated, it's freezing rain. And I think there could be some power outages. South Arkansas, it's just rainfall. I saw that it was heavy rain and 35 degrees in El Dorado there.
Yeah, Entergy just said 5,000 just in the Glenwood area of Montgomery County and 7,000 Arkansans without power this morning. We're working on getting pictures. They're coming in fast and furious now. Thank you, and we'll get those back out to you. We'll be back in just a moment with another look at live conditions around the state as we continue our team coverage of this winter storm.
And a good Monday morning, everybody. Freezing rain and sleet coming down overnight, causing problems around the state, but really, it's just the beginning.
That's right. A lot of schools, a lot of businesses already closed because of this President's Day. If they weren't, Chris, they probably would, because we are seeing the conditions continually go down this morning. And we have Jordan Botke, who is live in Little Rock. Matt Mershon is in Conway. Maureen Glisovic is in Pine Bluff. And our photographer, Brian Imfinger, is in Central Arkansas. He is driving around with technology that allows you to see a live look at where he's going as he's driving safely, by the way, with a GoPro camera strapped to the dash of his car. So we'll get to all of that in just a bit, but we want to get right to the weather, so we head over to the Weather Center with meteorologists Melinda Mayo and Barry Brand. Good morning to you guys.
Good morning, guys. Yeah, I think the kids are saying, why today? We were out anyway.
Exactly.
But as far as the traffic, that's actually a good thing, that a lot of people are going to stay home anyway.
Yeah. And sleet, we said it last night. Sleet, you can get some traction on.
Right.
If it's just an ice-covered road, you can't. Now, we've had 80-degree days, or nearly 80-degree days, and so the pavement did stay melted for a long time, but it hasn't remained that way. Let's take a look at some photos if we can, and we'll go over here to our big monitor, and I'm going to show you some of the things that are going on. Look at the ice-covered little plants there, the bushes there, and that's a thick dose of ice. I'm going to step off the screen here, and I'm going to show you some other photos that we've had, but that's just to the south. That's Glen Rose. So you think about here in Little Rock, we had some freezing rain, but it's changed over to sleet, and that doesn't accumulate on vegetation like that, but it does when it's freezing rain, and that's why we worry about power outages. This is Bryant this morning. We need some sunlight to get some good photos, but you can see the sleet that's there. And precipitation type is sleet in the Little Rock area after a little freezing rain. Great shot, still image from Brian Empfinger there. And this is the iDrive Arkansas map. And the bright pinks go from just north of Arkadelphia through the Hot Springs area, slush around Pine Bluff. Some of the areas, some of the roadways starting to get some ice covering on them. And then all of the northern half of the state, ice patches, northwest Arkansas, it's some snowfall. It'll last for a while. Just look at some of the model information. And Melinda, it looks like it'll be here to the late morning anyway.
Absolutely. Let's go to radar here to show you what's going on. And by the way, if you send us a picture, tell us where it is. Some people sending those pictures out. Tell us where you are and where that picture is as well. We're loving getting those. Okay, it's those two colors in the middle that are the biggest problem. Kind of that purplish pink and then the lighter pink right through central Arkansas. More sleet from Little Rock northward up to about Batesville. More freezing rain from Little Rock southward down to the Pine Bluff area. And that band right there, kind of the light pink salmon color, is really our biggest concern as far as actual freezing rain being harder, slicker to drive on. It collects on power lines, exposed surfaces. Northern Arkansas still mainly snow there. And then as we take a look at South Arkansas, that is mainly rainfall. Our hour-by-hour forecast across the region, let's take a look at those temperatures, and they just don't warm up a whole lot. 30 degrees at noontime. We're still below freezing at that point. Could just get above freezing as we go into the afternoon. So this is going to be a problem for quite a while, Barry.
Yeah, it really is. But there is an end in sight later on, and hopefully we'll get maybe 30 minutes of sunshine this afternoon.
That would be good, yeah.
I wouldn't count on it.
All right, back to Chris and Allison.
All right, guys, thank you very much. Well, if you're up early with us this morning, you may have already looked outside and seen all the sleet that's coming down. And as it continues to fall, we start our team coverage off right here in Little Rock with Jordan Bonnke, who is right off the interstate, the I-30 River Bridge, a place that is usually packed with traffic. Jordan, hopefully this morning you won't see too many cars behind you.
Not too many cars, but it has been getting a little bit busier on the highways. And I'll say this, I'm happy to report that these drivers seem to be driving very, very slowly. I haven't seen anybody barreling through here. But the first thing I want to draw to your attention is look at the streets. Completely covered, completely white. I mean, you remember Saturday when it was 75 degrees? If I try to dig into the streets like this, I can't get to the pavement. There's a small sheet of ice there. That's something to remember. You think you have four-wheel drive, you think, oh, I can probably tackle this. Really consider not driving this morning if you do not have to. The other thing I want to draw to your attention, over here to my left earlier, ambulance. We're standing by. You see the city trucks there, ready to just go if they need to, whatever the impacts may be. Another thing that we noticed, about 50 power outages in Pulaski County. We saw that Oaklawn had already canceled their events. A lot of this is just, a lot of the snow was really impacting a lot of the community. And the other thing I wanted to mention to you here, if you go outside, please bundle up. I'll tell you right now, some of the way this freezing rain is hitting, it really stings your face. Not a whole lot else that you can do about it, but if you don't have to be outside, you don't need to be outside, especially driving. Give yourself 2 to 3 car lengths in front of you. Drive 20 miles over. I mean, that's exaggerating, but 20 miles underneath the speed limit. But with that, if you don't need to be driving, don't need to. I don't know how many times I can say it this morning, but that's all for now here in Little Rock as the sleet starts to pick up and hit my face just that much harder. I'll send it back to you guys.
Yeah, Jordan, we're going to have to get you the full ski mask out there because we can hear it coming down. Yeah, we can certainly hear it coming down. Although Barry and Melinda say that's a good thing when you can hear the sleet because it provides a little more traction on the roadways. Man, have things deteriorated since we came in around 2:30 this morning. You can see completely covered. It wasn't quite like that this morning.
No, and it's only going to continue to get worse from what we're hearing. Let's head now to Matt Mershon, who's in Faulkner County this morning in Conway. Matt, what can you tell us about the weather up there? Any updates or any changes maybe in the past half hour or so?
Well, Chris, you know what's been happening here is we've had this sleet all morning, but how intense it's been has certainly varied. Right now, coming down at a medium pace, been lighter, and frankly, it's been heavier, you know, hitting you right in the face, and that sleet, those sleet pellets they hurt. I know Jordan was talking about them earlier, but that's what we're dealing with. It is sleet right now here in Faulkner County, here in Conway. We're on Skyline Drive by Interstate 40, and as you can see behind me, Skyline Drive, well, that is still completely sleet covered at this point in time. As for I-40, I know a lot of people taking a look at that AHCD road map this morning with those road conditions. Highway Department's been doing a pretty decent job trying at least to put down some salt, try to melt some of this stuff this morning. But for that matter, these roads, these secondary roads, even though this is a state highway, still pretty covered in sleet. And for those who do have to go to work this morning, we are seeing more and more come out as the morning rolls on. They are rolling to work, and as we mentioned, they are driving very cautiously, as we advise you to do on this very sleety, snowy, icy morning. We'll send it back to you guys in Little Rock.
So many adjectives to use, Matt. We'll probably go through the entire dictionary by the end of the day. Thank you. And finally, we head to Pine Bluff.
That's right. Maureen Glisovic is out live there. And Maureen, what are the conditions? I know you had an umbrella early and probably thankful that you do, as the guys are getting pelted with the sleet.
I was a little smarter than they were, obviously. I even have some warmers in my gloves right now. But check out the ground right now. I want to show you guys this. It's definitely changed here in Pine Bluff area. I'm off of Highway 65 and the I-530 interchange, and things are getting worse. You know, when I first got here at about 4:15 or so, nothing was accumulating on the ground. It was mostly in water form, and now it's starting to just be sleet. The freezing rain has picked up. You know, our car's been running, of course, to make sure we're warm, and the icicles are still forming despite the car running. If you take a look here, things have gotten worse, and it appears that there's even some snow here, but now it's just a sheet of ice over the car and then snow that's kind of accumulating on it. A lot of it's sleet, it's cold. You know, just recently, within the last 20 minutes or so, the Pine Bluff School District on their via social media has told everybody that school has been canceled for today. Now, I know it's been canceled for many school districts, and then many just weren't going to have school today in general because of the holiday. Now, looking at iDrive Arkansas at first, within the last half hour, road conditions have changed here for Pine Bluff. We went from clear to mostly clear, and now you're seeing there is some stuff accumulating going down 530 into Whitehall, but the further into Pine Bluff you go, it appears that it was mostly clear, but I mean, you just saw the ground, and you can definitely tell that it's accumulating. So we're going to continue to have updates. For now, I'll go ahead and send it back to you.
All right, Maureen Glisovic reporting live for us in Pine Bluff. As we've mentioned, we have crews covering all over the state, including Central Arkansas, and including Brian Empfinger, who is our photographer with the live view technology that will give us a live look at the road conditions. There you go. There he is, and that kind of gives you an idea. We'll have to check with him and see how fast he's going out there. But yeah, it looks like a road truck in front of it. Yeah, a lot of those out this morning. We know the city of Little Rock has 16 of their own that are treating those secondary roadways. Of course, the highway department will treat the major interstates, and I think that may be where he is right now.
All right, we'll get an update from him coming up. Also after the break, we have a weatherman who, as you know, is really excited about snow, but how about thunder snow? Oh man, this is at a whole new level of excitement.
We got it!
No thunder snow for us, but Barry and Melinda will tell you how long the winter weather will stick around for Arkansas. Don't go away.
Good morning. We decided to step outside here on 4th Street to actually see and experience what is going on. And I'll tell you what, the streets are absolutely covered now with kind of a mixture of sleet and freezing rain. Mainly, I'm hearing it hit the top of my umbrella, so this is mainly sleet. And like we've been saying, this gives you a little bit more traction to drive on. But, you know, as the traffic picks up today, those who do get out on the roadways, it's going to kind of pack this down, and it will become icier later on, so a good idea just to stay home if you can, as all of our crews have been telling us this morning. It is sleeting pretty hard out here, I have to tell you. Just had a report here in Little Rock around the Mississippi Cantrell Road area that there's on Indiana Street a car that is sideways that tried to get out and started to slide sideways. So that area is very treacherous. Anywhere where you've got any kind of inclines trying to go up and down. Looks like there's someone out and about this morning here in downtown downtown Little Rock, but that is the only vehicle I have seen since I stepped outside here. Of course, the road crews did a great job last night. I drove downtown last night and passed about 3 or 4 trucks that were spreading either chemicals or salt on the roadway. But now with this precipitation falling at a much faster rate, I think that it started to take over that pre-treatment that was already down. So definitely icy out here. I tell you what, we might can make kind of an icy snowball out of this if we really tried. I don't know, it's not packing very well, Barry.
Yeah, throw it at Doyle.
I'll try to, yeah.
Come on. Yeah, and then we want video of that. All right, let's take a look. First, I want to show you the iDrive Arkansas map. And this is a live look, and I've kind of zoomed in on the central part of the state. Around the Pine Bluff area, there are some icy patches. Everywhere north of Pine Bluff, everywhere north of Arkadelphia, though, you see the lighter pink. That's a slushy road. Ice is the darker shade of pink there, all through central Arkansas. There you can see the metro area with slush and sleet-covered roadways. Now, North Arkansas, the blue, that's actually snowfall up in that part of the state. And then in South Arkansas, look at this. It's rain. Yeah, it's above freezing. All right, let's take a look at some of the ways that you can get us information. Twitter, follow us at KATV Barry, at KATV_weather. That's Todd, at KATV Melinda. And get those pictures to us, and we'll turn them around. They're starting to come in. As the sun comes up, we'll get a whole lot more, I'm sure. Now, I did want to show you the forecast as we go to 9 o'clock. Still snow north, still sleet, and a mix here. Freezing rain in Pine Bluff and in South Arkansas rain. But look at this. By noon, this is noon. A lot of the precipitation starting to end with just some light rain left over in southern Arkansas. And so that's the good news out of this forecast. We also have our 5 live Doppler radars with the snowfall up in the northern part of the state. The sleet from here north, that's the purple, the pink shading, Hot Springs, Pine Bluff. Kind of a mix of freezing rain and sleet, and then the rainfall in South Arkansas, and that's going to be very persistent as we head through. But if you broaden out just a little bit on this shot, and I'm going to zoom in first, but then I'm going to show you there's that sleet and freezing rain line in the Little Rock area, but just out to the west of us in eastern Oklahoma is the back edge of it. Right now we're at 25 degrees. Is anything going to melt? Not now. The pavement retained some warmth for a while. But now it's just going to hold everything that falls.
And it's sleeting pretty hard out there. I can attest to it personally. Yeah, back in here. Let's take a look at your forecast, because this isn't the only chance of winter weather this week. It's the best chance, obviously. 32 for a high today. Again, that freezing rain and sleet is covering most of the metro area. Mainly snow north and mainly rain across South Arkansas. Tonight we'll see temperatures dropping back down to the 20s, and even some teens in northern Arkansas. 23, cold and breezy tonight, and we could see some refreezing of some areas, so we'll have to kind of see what sticks on the roadway since it's going to be so cold. Some of that could kind of a small system tomorrow that could show some light winter precipitation, not anything like what we're seeing today. Dry Wednesday and Thursday before even yet another round of maybe a little winter mix on Friday.
Where'd you get that coffee? I'm gonna need
you need some. I'll go get you some.
Hey, coming right back, we've got video of a guy that was just giddy, I tell you, about some thunder snow. I don't think we've seen thunder sleet yet in the Little Rock area. We'll have that and a whole lot more coming right after the break.
And welcome back into Daybreak as we continue our winter coverage throughout the morning. We want to let you know that we will extend coverage until 10 o'clock today to keep you updated. A lot of people waking up wondering what it's like in their area. We've got everything you need to know. We've got team coverage and, of course, Barry and Melinda in studio.
But now we want to show you a fun video. You know, our own Todd Yacobian seems to be one of those snow enthusiasts. He loves winter weather. Anytime he can forecast it, he gets pretty giddy.
Yeah, he's not here, but he's on Twitter right now. So he's up monitoring things as well. But Jim Cantor, the high-profile meteorologist for the Weather Channel, may just beat him out for sheer weather geekery. Check out his reaction to thunder snow this weekend up in Boston.
Oh, yes! 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 We got it, baby! We got it! We got it! Woo! Oh, again! Again! That's a twofer! That's a twofer, baby! Yes! Yes! Again! That's a 3! You gotta be kidding me! You gotta be kidding me! Up and through here. And there's another one! That's number... You gotta be kidding me! Good! Dude, that's number 6. You gotta be kidding me.
You think you love your job? Yeah.
Gotta be kidding me.
Jim Cantori loves his job more than you love your job, and he's going to prove it to you.
Counting the thunderstorm, I guess.
The thunder,
yeah,
the lightning
counting,
and thunder, yeah.
Yes, counting it, which I guess is kind of a rare thing to see that and be out in it. So that's what got him all excited. Fun to watch for sure. We're not seeing any of that yet.
No.
We're getting a mix of all sorts of things this morning.
Fortunately, we're not seeing snow that is accumulated like what they've seen in the Northeast, but sleet can be a major problem, and so can freezing rain, and that's why we're here all morning long for you on Channel 7 and online. Stay with us. What you can expect for the rest of the day as we continue right after this.
This portion of Daybreak brought to you by Teague Auto Group in El Dorado. Skycams, sponsored by Middleton Heat and Air.
Welcome back, everybody. There is a live look at our photographer, Brian Emfinger. He is driving the roadways so you don't have to this morning, basically, with a GoPro on the dashboard there so that he can show us what's going on. Let's go to radar, and the largest area of the state is covered with a mix of freezing rain and sleet. That is the central section of the state. That's our biggest concern this morning, Barry.
Yeah, and we'll have a whole lot more and tell you when this all wraps up coming up in just a second. Stick around on Daybreak, everybody.
Working for you in the spirit of Arkansas, this is Channel 7 News Daybreak.
Well, good morning, everybody. Chris Kane here. We are in downtown Little Rock, just outside of our studio, and it is sleeting pretty heavily, as you can see all around us. If you're waking up with us this morning, we appreciate you trusting us to bring you the latest on the winter weather coverage from around the state of Arkansas. It is quite slick, and the sleet accumulation has really built up. In fact, at any moment, I could be a YouTube video slipping down this hill, so stay tuned for that. Also this morning, want to let you know we've got team coverage. We are here in Pulaski County, just outside the I-30 bridge. We are also in Jefferson County with Maureen Glisovic, and we are in Faulkner County with Matt Mershon, as well as 2 meteorologists in studio with you, Barry Brandt and Melinda Mayo. And this is going to be a morning that is going to go, or this is going to be a weather system that is going to take a while to get through the state. How long is it going to take? For that, we're going to send it to our 2 meteorologists, Barry Brandt and Melinda Mayo. Hey, guys.
And you're welcome for me loaning you my umbrella this morning, too. You need it out there.
It's coming down pretty hard.
Yeah.
And we've got several more hours. Melinda's going to show you exactly how long we've got of this. I don't think the precipitation type is going to change. Here's an interesting fact. The National Weather Service, they just did a balloon launch, and they said it's at 5,000 feet, so 1 mile up. It's 45 degrees right now.
No kidding.
So that's why you get snow that falls, but then it falls through this warm layer. It turns into a raindrop, but there's 5,000 feet then, or nearly that, of below freezing, and it freezes before it hits the ground. That's why sleet forms.
That's why you get sleet, and that's what we would prefer than freezing rain. But let me go to, first of all the ways that you can stay in contact with us today. We're getting lots and lots of pictures, and there's so many ways for you to send us information about road conditions. If you see an accident or backups on the roadways, you can always go to KATV.com, of course, but KATV Barry. Todd is at KATV_weather. He's working from home and sending a lot of information out, and then I'm at KATV Melinda. So tweet to any of those locations. We'll share it with everybody, especially as the sun comes up. If you get a good picture in the daylight, we'd like to see that as soon as possible. Yeah, here are the 4 areas, 3 real areas of precipitation with that middle section of the state. Freezing rain and sleet, a little bit more sleet from Little Rock northward, more freezing rain from Little Rock southward, and then all rainfall there mainly for the southern area of the state. Again, pinks and light pinks. That's the mix of ice across the roadways, and that's what's causing so much of a problem. You can see the back edge there in Oklahoma and Texas, but this is going to be going on for quite a while as it continues to move through. It'll likely be early afternoon before we start to see it really decrease here in central Arkansas, a little bit earlier for the west, but that's the back edge of this system. Let's get over to Barry now with a look at some more of our pictures.
Yeah, we've got some great photos coming in. Let's take a look at this. A great photo from Brian Emfinger showing the sleet-covered roadways here in downtown. This one taken on a steep hill in Little Rock near Cantrell in Mississippi, and she said, yeah, so steep it's impassable there. This is Hot Springs Village. Looks like a lot of sleet on the steps coming down. This coming in from Conway. You can see quite a bit of coverage there. This also from the Little Rock area, not far from Cantrell Road. This is Skyline Drive in Conway, and we can see a lot of sleet there. And I think we have one more. This is the Malvern Airport. And there's some ice and now sleet there, so it has changed over. Please send us your photos, and we'll show you right there all the good photos that we do get. Now for a look at this morning's traffic, here's Michael Knight.
Channel 7 traffic brought to you by craneteam.com.
Hey, good Monday morning, my commuter brethren. Not sure if it's a good idea or not, but we're out here with you on the roads this morning. It is not a good idea. If you do not have to be out here, do not be out here. State Police working a couple accidents right now, going to be on the westbound side of 40. 40 westbound at Morgan, we got one car blocking the lane. And over at 40 westbound at Mayflower, I got an 18-wheeler that's jackknife, and it's blocking. Not a good idea to get out there this morning. 440 is impassable. I wouldn't even try it this morning. Stay away from the Cantrell Hill. Anywhere that's elevated this morning, not a good idea. The good news is, though, it is a holiday, so school buses won't be running, and traffic will be a little lighter than usual. If you do have to get out, though, go extremely slow and watch yourself around. That is the Look at Your Traffic, brought to you by craneteam.com. From the Channel 7 Mobile Traffic Center, I'm Michael Knight.
All right, Michael, thank you very much. Now we go live out to Channel 7's Jordan Bonke, who is on Interstate 30 in Little Rock.
Jordan, tell us what the conditions are out there, and we know they have continued to deteriorate since you got out there early this morning.
Now we finally figured it out. We were facing that way earlier, and it stung my face like you know what, and then now on the backside here, and it's a little bit more comfortable. Over my shoulder here, you can see how slowly traffic is moving. No one really exceeding 35, 40 miles an hour, but we did just get some word from the Central Arkansas Transit Authority that their services will be delayed until 7:30, but some advice this morning from AAA. Of course, once you're bundled up, you make your way on out to your car. The first thing you want to do, again, if you have to drive, you don't need to if you don't have to, but if you have to drive, make sure you get the ice off all of your windows and windshields there. Also, when you get behind the car, make sure it's warm. Drive slowly. Allow 3 times the normal length between you and the car in front of you. Very important there. When you push on that brake, make sure to brake slowly, because anything harder could make you skid there. I tried that a little bit earlier, and that was not the case. Just slid right into the intersection. Of course, no one was there. We'll bring you more updates from the I-30 River Bridge as this storm continues to roll through Central Arkansas. That's all for now. We'll send it back to you guys.
Jordan Bonke reporting live. Stay warm out there, and some good information, Chris. As we know, a lot of people do have to go in because they have critical jobs, so they're wondering what's it like for them. The good news, there's going to be less traffic already because it's President's Day, and many schools and state offices are closed.
Yeah, we were saying earlier this morning, a good rule of thumb is if you look outside and see what we're seeing, you probably don't have school today. But just to make sure, go to KTV.com and look at the list scrolling on the bottom of your screen. Now we head to Faulkner County. Channel 7's Matt Mershon has been in Conway off Interstate 40 and Skyline Drive. Matt, what do you see there this morning? Just a little bit farther north, but that can make a big difference as far as accumulation.
Oh, a heck of a difference. And you know what? As we mentioned, you know, that intensity's been going back and forth, up and down. It's picked up again here in Conway. We're on Skyline Drive, and you can see we sort of switched up our shot here. This is Skyline Drive. I-40's on the other side. And you can see it's completely sleet covered right now, and not a good idea to be on that right now. And as we said, this intensity is picking up here. You know, I'm so glad you guys actually got to experience this morning because it's very cold. And the thing about sleet is it hurts. It's these pellets. It's not snow. It's not this flurry stuff. It is these little ice pellets, that sleet, and that's what's coating the roadways. And you know, as soon as it's hitting, you know, it's good for right now, but as soon as more cars start to travel over this, we are seeing more that are venturing out this morning. That's going to start to pack this down, and it is going to get pretty slick out there. As we mentioned, I-40 still a little troublesome with some accidents. Michael Knight mentioning those. Still got to drive safe out here. We'll send it back to you guys in Little Rock.
All right, Matt Mershon reporting live for us there in Faulkner County. And now we head to Jefferson County. Channel 7's Maureen Glisovic is watching the road conditions down there. Good morning to you once again, Maureen.
Good morning, Allison, Chris, Melinda, Barry, everybody that's covering this weather this morning. You could tell from the windshield here it's gotten thicker, it's worse. definitely give yourself some time to start your car up if you have to go anywhere today. I know we've been saying this all morning, but just stay home if you don't have to. You know, I can tell you that based off of doing some of these stories last winter season, you want to make sure that your car is fully clean, because if any of those ice patches or anything falls off your car, hits the other one, damages it, it is going to be on that driver, and it's going to be the driver's fault for not cleaning up their car. So keep that in mind if you're going to be traveling today. The ground, it has gotten worse here. We're looking at slush over here in Pine Bluff. I'm off of Highway 65 and the I-530 interchange. It's just cold. It's slick. Definitely slippery now. Well, we started at about 4:15, 4 o'clock. We were out here. We started the show, of course, at 4:30, and it was just mainly in water form. You know, the ground was still warm, but now everything's pretty much freezing over. So, again, if you don't have to travel, don't do it. Based off of iDrive Arkansas, we've looked some of these roads going into Whitehall, heading toward Pine Bluff. Those are becoming partly covered. I know that there's still some clear roadways here in this area, but it is getting much worse as the morning continues. We're going to continue to have live coverage updates. For now, I'll send it back to you.
Maureen Glisovic reporting live for us. We'll check back in with you in just a bit. We do know that Entergy is reporting more power outages as the morning progresses.
Yeah, staying in Jefferson County, where Maureen is at, 54 now reported as of 6 a.m. this morning. That's a change from 0 reported just 30 minutes ago. Also, Lincoln County adding 419 to their outage list. Washita only 5, but some big changes here. Montgomery going over 4,900, Pike going almost to 400, and Clark County almost to 800. A total of 7,374 outages. Those looking to increase as the morning progresses.
And we are getting information as we speak on the air. I'm just getting word that Arkansas state offices are closed on Monday in the Little Rock metropolitan area. Again, Arkansas state offices closed today. Coming up, much of Arkansas still under a winter weather warning. We go back into the Weather Center, where meteorologists Barry Brandt and Melinda Mayo are tracking it all for you this morning.
Plus, another concern this morning. We're going to check back in with Julie Munsell from Entergy Arkansas with more updates on who's without power and how long will it take to get your power back on. That's a question so many are asking right now.
Channel 7 News Daybreak, brought to you by Havner Law Firm and by Razorback Camper Sales. The bus stop forecast is brought to you by Air Masters Heating and Air Conditioning.
Starting to hear some big traffic problems now. An 18-wheeler I-40 near Mayflower is jackknifed, and then also I-30 at Otter Creek. So those are the traffic problems that really make it awful for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Backs it up.
Yeah, and a lot of folks don't have to get out, but some do. So I'd say the roadways are passable in a number of spots, but they're not very good, and they're getting worse. Let's take a look at the difference between freezing rain and sleet. If you have a little bit deeper layer of cold air above, you get sleet. That's what we're seeing here, mainly a travel concern, but freezing rain, oh, that's some bad stuff, collecting on trees and power lines. We're going to be talking about more in western Arkansas, especially a lot of power outages that are going on over in that part of the state, about 7,500 now in the western part of the state. All right, so for us to get your good pictures, we've got to have you send them to these addresses. And you can download the KATV weather app. On Facebook, I'm Barry Brandt. On Twitter, at KATV Barry. But on Twitter, also we have at KATV_weather. That's Todd. And at KATV Melinda. Folks, this is the way we get our pictures nowadays, through social media. Obviously, photo at KATV.com. You can still send them that way, but it's a great way to send them, and we'll turn them around and we'll show them on the air. It's a wonderful way to get the message out. Now, eastern Oklahoma, you can see the back edge of this, but we're still seeing the freezing rain to the south of the Little Rock area, sleet here north, and snow in northern Arkansas. And I've gotten some snow pictures in, and I'll be showing those to you coming up. Hour by hour we go through the morning hours. It's going to continue even into the early afternoon, but after that, I think it'll start to let up. This will move away, and we might even see a peak of sunshine. Wouldn't that be a good thing, Melinda?
That would be a good
Good thing. Thank you, Barry. Yeah, one of our producers was just reminding me, you can also shoot video on Twitter and send it to us as well. Just be sure and tag at KATV News. Winter storm warning for most of the state, all the areas shaded and peak, and that means we are going to see travel concerns, and we're already seeing those. We're going to check in with Michael Knight here in just a moment. Winter weather advisory, kind of a little lower classification for South Arkansas. It is mainly rainfall there, but there too you've had a little bit of sleet and freezing rain mixing in, and especially bridges and overpasses in that part of the state is going to be a problem. Everywhere else, all the roads are a problem. And as the sun comes up, we're really going to be able to show you with our live weather cams exactly how covered the roads are becoming. Mainly freezing rain and sleet through central Arkansas, then snow north, rain south. And then we're going to talk about another just minor disturbance that could bring a brief bout of winter weather tomorrow too, especially tomorrow night. 25 degrees now, feels like 15 though. I was just out there and the wind is blowing. It's blowing that sleet. So it is just not pleasant to get out there at all. Teens in northern Arkansas, 20s through the central area. The only area above freezing officially is El Dorado, even Monticello and Texarkana at 32. That means some of that rain that's coming down is freezing on the exposed objects. 15 is how it feels like here in Little Rock right now, so bundle up if you are going out. I know the kids are going to want to try to play in this, and I think they could sled a little bit later on today. Even the icy stuff gives you a little bit of sliding. As we take a look at Futurecast going into later this morning, starting to decrease here in western Arkansas, close to noontime, and we're starting to see it really decrease across central too, but it's still hanging on in eastern Arkansas through the early afternoon. Then gone. Could even see a little bit of sunshine this afternoon before clouds return. Again, tomorrow night could have another little brief round, much lighter round of winter weather, and then dry for a few days after that. 32 for a high today. That is it. So we'll stay below freezing most of this day. 23 tonight, cold and breezy. And here's that extended forecast. Another small chance tomorrow. Sunny Wednesday and Thursday before mainly rain returns Friday into your weekend. All right, coming up next, we've got your morning traffic report from Michael Knight.
Channel 7 Traffic, brought to you by CraneTeam.com.
6:20 on this Monday morning, and we're over here in Morgan, right past Maumelle. We've been by the accident site there where state police is on the scene of a car blocking 40 westbound at the lane there. So be careful coming through there. 365, not an advisable route this morning. Also, any kind of the elevated freeways, try to stay away from those. The river bridges and stuff like that freezes real quick. Also stay away from them. Also working an accident 40 westbound at Mayflower, 18-wheelers jackknife. It is blocking the lane. They're working on getting it out of the way. And 30 at Otter Creek, also seeing some life through there. So it's going to be a bad day coming in over at the Big Rock. Very light volume throughout here. If you do not have to get out this morning, that is the way to do it. 440, very unadvisable this morning. But if you do have to get out, slow and steady wins the race today. Just be extremely careful out there. Leave about 3 or 4 car lengths between you and the guy in front of you, and watch out going through some of the elevated freeways. That is Elixir Traffic, brought to you by CraneTeam.com. From a Channel 7 Mobile Traffic Center, I'm Michael Knight.
Thank you, Michael. Yeah, Michael suggesting you just stay indoors all snuggled up and hunkered down if you can, if you don't have to get out. The problem is some people are losing electricity, and it's not going to stay warm for very long if you're without electricity for very long. We're continuing to monitor the outages, and they are going up as we speak.
Yeah, on the phone with us right now is Julie Munsell from Entergy Arkansas. As Allison just alluded to, Julie, in the past hour, more than about 1,000 extra customers without power, and specifically several areas, Montgomery and Clark County. When can those folks expect their power to be back on sometime today?
Well, right now we're looking at trying to get those folks back on by this evening. Certainly we would encourage customers, if they have access to either through their mobile device or the internet, to go out to the View Outages page. Every outage has an assigned estimated restoration time, but generally speaking, this evening is when we hope to have everyone back on.
Talk a little bit about the dangers that this can pose when electricity goes out, not just for the workers who are working around in these conditions, but also for homeowners who might decide to pull out a generator.
Right. Well, of course, there's a whole host of issues and concerns around generator safety, and a lot of folks like to use generators, so want to make sure that they have had those both properly installed. as well as tested by a certified electrician. If you should have an outage, certainly let us know that by calling 1-800-9-OUTAGE. You can also sign up for text alerts to stay plugged in. You can text REG to 368-374 or visit energytext.com. So there's a lot of ways for people to stay plugged in. We do want people, first and foremost, to be safe, whether they are out in their homes or if they are out in the elements, if they have to be like some of our workers. So making sure that they have, have all of the gear that they need and that they are, only traveling when necessary and taking all the precautions necessary.
Julie, thank you so much for joining us today. That is Julie Munsell from Entergy Arkansas. Once again, you can call them at 800-9-OUTAGE. That's 800-968-8243 to report an outage.
All right, winter storm warning, sleet, snow, freezing rain. We talked to photographer Brian Imfinger, who is driving around central Arkansas with live view technology showing you exactly what it's like to be out there in your cars. We're back with more of Daybreak right after this.
Getting a live look outside right now. Channel 7 photographer Brian Imfinger is also out live driving around Little Rock, and we go to him now to see how the road conditions are.
Good morning to you, Brian. I know you've been driving around all across central Arkansas this morning with live view technology, so we're getting a look at you driving. Tell us where you are and how fast you're going on these roadways.
Right now I'm between Mayflower and Maumelle, headed north on 40. I am going about 35, 40 miles an hour. It just depends upon the amount of sleet on the road. The ruts are really the problem. The sleet's actually decent traction, but where the sleet is piled up from all the people on the roads, it can get a little hard to control the vehicle.
Seeing accidents, we know you're in that area where we've reported 2 major accidents.
I have not made it to that. I did see one accident a little bit before Maumelle. It was just a single car that looked like they had just lost control a little bit and swerved into the concrete divider there where the road construction is. And right now it's still sleeting with just a little bit of rain mixed in. I started driving the roads around 2 o'clock this morning, and it's noticeably worse every 20 or 30 minutes.
Hey, Brian, we've also heard that there's 16 sand and salt trucks ready to treat the roads as they continue to get worse. Have you seen any of those trucks out there from the city of Little Rock?
Oh, yes. In Little Rock especially, they were very visible. You couldn't go too far down the road without seeing them. The problem is right now with the temperatures so cold, I actually followed a truck for a while, and it's really not doing a whole lot right now. It's just too much sleet. It's still precipitating, so don't expect that's going to help the roads much at all, at least until it stops precipitating and maybe it gets a little more sun on it or daylight on it.
All right, Brian Imfinger out live. Once again, we want to remind folks that he is driving as safely as possible. That GoPro camera is strapped down to his dash, so he is hands-free this morning as he is managing the roadways and bringing you a live look at exactly what it's like if you do have to get out. And we know there are those critical workers and some people that are watching going, I have to go into work. I need to know exactly what it's like, and that's really the best for you.
Yeah, be super cautious if you have to get out today. Stay with us. Coming up after the break, we're going to update you on the weather conditions. We've got both meteorologists Barry Brandt and Melinda Mayo in studio today. They'll tell you what to expect in your area. Hey, good Monday morning, everybody. The time now is 6:32. Freezing rain and sleet coming down overnight. Much of Arkansas right now in a winter storm warning.
And this morning we have Jordan Bonke in Little Rock. Matt Mershon is in Conway. Maureen Glisovic is in Pine Bluff. And as we just saw, photographer Brian Imfinger in central Arkansas driving around with live view technology, bringing you a live look at exactly what it's like out there in your cars, on the roadways. Also, Michael Knight keeping an eye on things with our traffic department. But we want to start with the weather weather.
Yes, as expected. We're going to get right to it with meteorologist Melinda Mayo and Barry Brandt, both in studio today. Mel, what can you tell us about what's happening right now as far as an update from when we first started at 4:30 this morning?
Well, mainly it has all turned to sleet here in central Arkansas. That's, we say that's a good thing, but it's beginning to pile up now. And if that kind of melts a little bit, becomes compacted, that can get icy as well. But right now we've mainly seen a change over to sleet. The road crews did a great job at getting things ready last night, but really the precipitation is coming down at such a high rate right now that we're starting to see the roads definitely ice over. Barry Brandt is outside, if we have him, on the streets on 4th Street, taking a look at what's going on out there. Barry, you there?
Yeah, I'm amazed at, from the last time I was outside, how much deeper the sleet is right here. Just on the sidewalk here, I'm going to say it's well over an inch. I'm going to say it's about 1.25 inches in the streets here. Maybe 1.5 inches. I mean, this is really coming down. It's really piling up. It's like a ghost town down here now, but I have seen just a little bit of traffic. And with sleet, you can get some traction, but not much. And there was a little ice layer underneath that. So let's take a look outside our Middleton Skycam. And I want to show you the beautiful downtown area here. And the bridges are all lit up, but oh, the sleet is falling, folks. And it's continuing to come down, and I'm afraid that what we're going to see is this continue for another 3 or 4 hours. Temperature right now in the Little Rock area is running at 25 degrees. Melinda, I think you're going to have to help me progress through my maps there. I don't think I can control it from out here. But you can see it's 25 degrees. It feels like 18. It's kind of it's not a strong wind, but it's a bitter wind. And on radar, you can see the area just to the south of Little Rock is predominantly, actually we've got 25 degrees here in the Little Rock area. Look how much colder up to the north. That's where the snowfall is. If we could go to our 5 live Doppler radars, though, and I'll show you, north is snow. South is still rain down around El Dorado, Monticello, but Pine Bluff and Hot Springs back into western Arkansas. That is that freezing rain area, and we're in the sleet area here. Now, the back edge of it I see in eastern Oklahoma, and that's good news. So for another, I'd say, Melinda, 4 to 5, maybe 6 hours for central Arkansas, less in western Arkansas, a little bit more in eastern Arkansas, you're going to see a continuation of this. By that time, I think we could easily have well over 2 inches of sleet here, and the freezing rain, I think, is going to be a even bigger problem for those areas just to the south.
Okay, thanks so much, Barry. Come back in and get warm while you can. In the meantime, let's go check on our traffic. Michael Knight keeping an eye on all the roadways for us. Michael?
Channel 7 traffic brought to you by craneteam.com.
Okie dokie, gang. The good news is that schools are out, and that is causing us some light volume, but we do have several accidents on the road. 40 westbound at Morgan, got one car blocking the lane still. 40 westbound at Mayflower, 18-wheelers jackknife. It is blocking a lane through there, and over at 30 at Otter Creek, also seeing an accident there. Coming through the south interchange now, you're seeing about 5 cars stacked up there. Sort of hard to get through there. If you've got to come up that way, you're going to have to use an alternate route. Go ahead and avoid 440 this morning, and also on any kind of steep inclines, go ahead and avoid those. You're not going to get up those very easy this morning. If you don't have to get out, that is going to be the best thing to do. And if you do, try to leave about 3 or 4 car lengths in front of you and the person in front of you. That is Elixir Traffic, brought to you by craneteam.com from a Channel 7 Mobile Traffic Center. It's cold. I'm Michael Knight.
Michael, thank you very much. Now we go live out to Channel 7's Jordan Bonke on Interstate 30 in Little Rock.
Yeah, Jordan, give us an update on what things are like. We know you've been reporting all morning long that things are getting worse. So bad roadways out there and only getting worse.
Yeah, that is the case. Bad roadways only getting worse. Here's something to bring up. Barry said that you're looking at an inch earlier. Look at this. I mean, this thing is just shooting up here. Let's see if I can't make myself a YouTube video to show kind of how it slides here quickly. But on a bigger business-related note, all the Arkansas state offices today have closed down. That's something that Governor Hutchinson had said just a little bit earlier today. Now, you can take a look behind me at the highway. A lot of these folks not exceeding 40 miles an hour on I-30 as they're heading south here. And it is still just absolutely soaking white. Just all of the snow here. Now, Entergy earlier reported today in Pulaski County, 47 outages. A lot of those outages in the Riverdale area. And some advice this morning from the AAA, brake gently. When you don't brake gently, you skid. We tried that out a little bit earlier today so that we could report it while there was no one awake, no one on the streets, and you can slide right into that intersection. Something to keep in mind: if you have to be behind the wheel, you shouldn't be behind the wheel if you don't have to. Also, don't use cruise control, and also give 3 car lengths in front of you. Some solid advice this morning: don't get behind the wheel if you do not have to. That's all for now here in Pulaski County. Let's see what Matt Mershon is doing.
That's right.
Hey,
Thank you.
Go ahead. Good morning, guys. Yeah, we are sorry about that. We're here in Faulkner County, yeah, we are dealing with the same thing. We've been talking about that intensity, and it looks like it's let up for right now. I'm not getting pelted with sleet anymore. It looks like we're dealing with some sort of a freezing drizzle here in Conway this morning, and because of that, we're seeing roadways not having a little bit of a difficult time getting cleared off. We have seen a lot of salt trucks traveling I-40 this morning, trying to get the highways in some decent shape to travel to work if you have to this morning. But of course, we're urging people not to. And here in Conway, a lot of great news, happy news for some college students sitting watching Channel 7 in their dorm this morning. No school at UCA, and I'm sure they're very happy about that. A lot of people, of course, out for President's Day, and those are rolling at the bottom of your screen. All the ones that were planning on being in session, but are decided that this stuff's just a little too treacherous to take out and go out in. We have ice on top of, ice underneath, sleet on top. It's not good travel here in Conway, but right now it has let up, and that's good for right now. We're going to send it back to you.
Yeah, let up for now, Matt. Thanks so much. We'll check back in with you a little bit later, but Barry Brent just saying we could perhaps see some thunder sleet at some point today.
If you missed it, Jim Cantori is super excited about thunder sleet, and as are our meteorologists, we'll see if they can go jump and dance in the streets and rejoice with thunder sleet. That's, of course, still up in the air. We'll have to wait and see if that come to fruition. Now, we're going to head a little south now. This is an area that's rapidly changed as far as road conditions throughout the morning. Jefferson County, that's where Maureen Glisovic is. And Maureen, you've seen the road conditions down there get a little more icy as we've progressed this morning.
They've drastically changed as the morning has progressed. I'm hanging on to whatever is left over in my umbrella here because you could tell that winds are picking up over here. I have some energy crews here that are on standby. So far, Entergy has reported about 54 customers in Jefferson County that are affected by this storm right now. But as you can see, it doesn't appear that there's much of a power outage in this area just because you could tell all these trucks are on standby. But they're definitely getting ready out there in case they need to be. So it's definitely gotten worse. If we can take a look at the ground here, you can see that now there's just an ice-covered patch. We have some, it was sleet at first. It was slush this morning. Now it's getting harder a little bit. Still able to move around, but road conditions are getting worse. It almost looks like a whiteout out here looking over to the I-530 interchange here near Highway 65. So it is getting worse. Definitely give yourself enough time to start the car and defrost the windows. From reporting during winter storms like this and ice storms, definitely make sure you clean off your entire car because, local law enforcement as well as insurance companies have said that if a sheet of ice falls off your car and damages the car behind it or next to it, it is going to be that driver's fault for not clearing up that car. So be sure to just stay in, actually, if you don't have to go anywhere. There's a lot of closings. UAPB has been closed as well as all the schools in the Pine Bluff School District. So we're going to continue to give you updates for now. I'm going to get back in the car and get warm. I'll send it back to you.
Maureen Glisovic, some great information there. And yes, I hope we can get you another umbrella. It was fine this morning when she started out. I think if you wanted to get out as safely as possible, you kind of missed that window of opportunity, which seemed to be around 2 to 3 o'clock this morning. And it has just progressively gotten worse. And we hear that from all of our crews all across the state. We're here with you throughout the morning, all the way until 10 o'clock, keeping you updated, giving you an idea of what it's like outside. And just a heads up, airlines have canceled some flights out of Clinton National Airport this morning. You need to check with your air carrier before heading to the airport.
14 flights canceled just before the noon hour alone. Expect that number to also increase throughout the day. Hey, coming up next, meteorologist Barry Brandt and Melinda Mayo are tracking this winter storm. We're going to talk with them and get a timeline of when it should move out when we come back.
Welcome back, everybody. This is our photographer, Brian Imfinger, who is out driving the roadways for you. He has gotten to that accident there. This is I-40 westbound, just past Mayflower. So I-40 westbound, just past Mayflower. That is a tractor-trailer rig that has jackknifed there. So I would avoid that area. Really avoid the roads. Stay off and stay home if you can. But if you have to drive, you might want to try to find a way around that I-40 westbound near Mayflower. And Brian will continue to keep us updated on when that becomes clear. That could affect a lot of folks, too.
Yeah, it really could. And now we're getting a whole bunch more in the Entergy network. In western Arkansas, around the Arkadelphia area, starting to see power outages go way up there. And you see a whole lot more of those triangles from Pine Bluff southwestward, south central. It looks like maybe around Fordyce. And long strings of red there. Those are lines. Those are power circuits that are completely out. And so I'm fearing that the freezing rain has now begun to take a toll on the power lines there, and it's going to continue for a while longer, another several hours.
Entergy numbers just went up to 9,000 statewide. Clark County really beginning to go up quickly, too, in the Arkadelphia area.
Yeah.
So if you still have power and you're in southwestern Arkansas, think about what you need to do in case the power does go out. Let's take a look at radar real quickly here, and then Barry's got some more pictures to show us. First of all, we're seeing a bit of everything as we had expected, but it's that large area with kind of the purples and the pinks in the middle part of the state that is of most concern. And yeah, I think as Barry was just saying, we're starting to see the freezing rain kind of overtake some of those sleet areas, even areas like Russellville and Yell County and all the way down into west central Arkansas. We're seeing more pinks and purples, indicating that yes, freezing rain is kind of overtaking some of the areas that were originally sleet. Still mainly sleet in the Little Rock area, snow as you go further up to the north. Let's get over to Barry now to look at some of our newest pictures.
Yeah, and they're coming in on Twitter, and you can follow us, KETV_weather, KETV Barry, and KETV Melinda. Good way to get those to us. Here's an on-ramp in the downtown area of Little Rock. And folks, it's really begun to pile up here. If you could look closely, and you can see the tracks there where some traffic has gone through. This is up in northwest Arkansas, Bella Vista. The shot off the deck, that is snowfall up in the northwestern part of the state. Looks like to me there are several inches of snow there. This is in Pine Bluff, a staging area for power trucks that are probably going to be helping to put back power, put on some power. And then we have, this is Batesville. No, this is Maumelle this morning. No, this is Batesville, actually. Yeah, we're getting more new tweets that are coming in. Batesville, you've got a good covering there, and this is right outside the studio in downtown Little Rock. And I just measured, folks, it's around 2 inches of sleet here. Melinda?
Definitely a President's Day we're going to remember. Not the biggest of ice storms we've ever seen, but certainly significant. Let's take a look at temperatures. And remember, it's the temperatures above the surface that really decide what the precipitation type is. But at the surface, most of us all below freezing. 32 at Monticello, 32 at Texarkana, and 32 at DeQueen. Freezing rain in those areas very likely, and 33 at El Dorado, the only area still above the freezing mark. Teens and 20s for wind chills. If you've been seeing our reporters out there, the wind is blowing their umbrellas around, so that wind is a problem too. Futurecast, we're going to stop this at about 10 o'clock this morning, and by then the northwestern half of the state is seeing this really begin to decrease, but it is still sleeting in the metro area, especially Little Rock eastward, snow north, rain to the south still. This is noontime, and if you do have to get out and do something today, I would say wait until the afternoon, because by noontime this is going to be rapidly decreasing. Southeast Arkansas may hang on to some rain even into the afternoon. Tonight we clear out briefly, some cloud cover back tomorrow, and tomorrow night could see just another little round of very much lighter winter precipitation that we're not too concerned about, but we'll of course be focusing on that and kind of analyze that for you later on today. 32 will be our high today. That is it. Freezing rain and sleet mainly. It could end even as a little bit of snow here in central Arkansas, mainly snow north. Tonight 23, cloudy, cold and breezy. Precipitation ends though, but there's that small round looking more like tomorrow night than tomorrow during the day. Sunny but chilly Wednesday and Thursday morning. Lows quite cold by Thursday morning. And then another chance of rain with possibly a little winter mix begins on Friday. Looks like this weekend warming up just for scattered rainfall. That is your weather forecast for now, but a look at specific cities. Here's your Metro First forecast.
What will you find at Crane Mazda? How about the only manufacturer with 2 vehicles on Car and Driver's top 10 list? The Mazda 3 and 6 get class-leading fuel economy with up to 40 miles per gallon, blind spot monitoring, and the latest technology. Plus, you can shop CX-5 and 9. We've got the biggest selection and the lowest prices. We're offering 0% financing and discounts up to $7,000 off. If you're thinking of a new vehicle, you need to come check us out. Crane Mazda, I-430 and Colonel Glenn Road in Little Rock.
CraneTeam.com. The sleet continues to come down, and it's going to continue to get worse.
It's piling up, and I tell you what, it wasn't very bad. It is bad now.
It is, absolutely. And I-40 near Mayflower, one of the worst areas. We're going to check in with Michael Knight for your traffic conditions right after this.
Channel 7 traffic brought to you by CraneTeam.com.
6:52, about 8 minutes away from 7 o'clock, and this is your rush hour shot. And we got lucky today because it is a holiday. State Police still working one accident right now. It's going to be at 40 westbound at Mayflower. 18-wheelers jackknife, it's blocking a lane. Also 30 at Otter Creek. They're getting that one off the road for us there. But so far, that's the only accidents we got. Go ahead and avoid 440. If you don't have to get out, do not get out. It has gotten worse since we've come up on the air this morning. 440, don't even try getting on there. All of your elevated freeways and your river bridges are going to be slick on there, so go ahead and take your time. If you do have to get out, and coming in from the south interchange through that construction zone, I got about 5 cars stacked up there. They're barely moving, so if you can just stay home, just stay home. That's going to be your best bet. That is a look at your traffic brought to you by CraneTeam.com from the Channel 7 Traffic Center. I'm Michael Knight. We'll be back. You're watching Daybreak.